from the same place as trap music. This that first react music. They can't hold me back. I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this. My flow, I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking. You should hush, bitch. I am from the heavy base. My bro called a heavy case. Got a couple.
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, sayings, and phrases used in American culture. And tonight we are smoking on the word fallacy. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds, with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali Dawu L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God. What you dealing with?
Man, coming off a high.
Hell yeah.
Coming off a high. Was on like a 3-week honeymoon vacation.
I see it all over you. I see it all over. I like it.
Getting back to the real world for a little bit. You know, I was in La La Land.
Oh man, the real world. Boo.
The fallacies of it all. Yeah. And just thankful for another Sunday, as always. You know, we woke up this morning. We got some yard work. We got some stuff we got to get tidy up and squared away. And a few other productive things coming the rest of the week. So we looking forward to that. How about yourself, God? How you feeling? How your week been?
My week's been very hectic. You know, we've been getting a lot of rain. So that makes a lot of things grow. So this weekend I started working on my weeds. Man, I got a long way to go. You know, it's good though because it makes everything grow. Right. So when you pull the weeds out, you got, you know, more space to make everything else good. So it's been productive, bro.
Absolutely.
No complaints on this side.
That's right. We'll complain. Who listening anyway? Who gonna do something about it? You know, that'd be the problem. For real. I might as well go ahead and try to solve some shit.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Make a plan.
For sure. But definitely we want to thank everybody for joining, y'all. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, y'all. It's the freest thing you can do to support the channel. The like button, hit the like button or subscribe. It is the freest thing that you can do. And we appreciate y'all if y'all do that. So if you're new to the show, what we do here is we have a word or phrase or term, and we have 3 questions that we shape around our word, phrase, or term. And we're going to go ahead and get into those 3 questions tonight for the word fallacy. So our first question this evening is our house question. What do you think of when you hear the word fallacy? Let us know in the comment section. Our second question this evening will be, what tools do we have as people to recognize or avoid fallacy? I apologize for my kindergarten grammar, but I was typing up fast. But the question is, what tools do we have as people to recognize or avoid fallacy? And our third question of this evening will be, what happens when a fallacy becomes ad hominem, and why is this considered problematic? And if nobody knows what ad hominem is, we will bring up the definition of ad hominem, or y'all can go ahead and look it up at home. So when we get to the third question, you already know what we're talking about. So before we define and learn what the word fallacy is, using the Merriam-Webster dictionary, we always answer the first question. And that first question is, what do you think of when you hear the word fallacy? The guy Ali Dawood at BK Soul Farm.
Word, peace. Yo,
Peace.
so when I think of fallacy, I think about an incomplete thought, right? What I mean by that is I'm gonna have another incomplete thought by saying this. Somebody jumping out the window, right? Like where you think that you have thought all the way through the whole entire process, but you may not have, right? You may have thought about where you currently are, where you want to end up, and something about the middle. You know what I'm saying? And that middle part is where we need to do more thinking and more to process, right? Because we go from where we at to what we think is the truth or what is the right answer, and we just jump, right? And I think that's what I think about when I think about fallacy, and that's what I mean by incomplete thought. It's like a lot of times, like we get into quote unquote business as as poor people, people of lack, trying to come up, and we don't understand the entire process or what all entails a business, a corporation kind of style thought process. What kind of person you need to turn yourself into in order to be successful in that realm, right? Um, we have a tendency to take a lot of shortcuts, not even knowingly on purpose, simply because we don't have a lot of enough money because we move too fast, or we, like I say, jumped out the window, and we want to just we want to brag and tell everybody, look, I got a business. Look at me, ma. I got a business. Look, I got a
Right.
business,
Right.
right? And then you got people talking about, so do you got a Wraith yet?
Do you
Yeah, you don't have a phantom. You're like, your business can't be popping if you don't have a phantom yet.
Oh
And it's
wow.
and it's like everybody done jumped out the window, and now it's like you never take the time to actually put things in the perspective of how this thing actually goes, and how much competition you have in the world, how much competition you have locally, right? Like how many things in your way between where you are and where you're trying to end up at. And if you don't consider those things, I think that whole process is a fallacy, right? Like it's like that's what I think. I think it's just not a full thought, so to speak.
Not a full thought. No doubt. Not a full thought. Man, what do I think of when I hear the word fallacy? Well, I was introduced to the word fallacy by an ex-associate of mine, and I had never really heard the word before. And I didn't even go research the word after it was introduced. I mean,
Word.
because like honestly, they used it very cleverly in I was we was working on music, and they actually used the word in one of their rhymes. So I was just like, oh, it sound cool. So we're gonna go with it. And I never thought any more of it, you know, other than the context of the way it was used. And the way it was used was people create a fallacy to their own casualty, you know. So that describes what you just said.
That shit is hard.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was I used to deal with this rapper. His name was Quest Skills. You
The
know what I'm saying?
greatest.
You know?
Got
I don't
bars
know.
for days.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what the guy said. And that explains that part of it. So, other than that, I never even, to me, that was like enough explanation, you know? So I figured like that must be some fake shit or some not all the way thought through, or you, similar to what you was just saying, you're about to cause yourself more harm than necessary. You're about to do something that is going to cause you to have more problems, to not be as successful as you could possibly be. So that's what I got from that, and I never, because in American culture, commonly people don't use the word fallacy. It isn't a word that's normally used in everyday speak. It also isn't a word that's used like not even in social media context or
That's funny.
or any of those things. Like people don't use the word. Like you never hear somebody at work. I never heard somebody at work say, "Hey, it's going to be a fallacy."
Yo, God, I'm thinking about it right now, and I think in my brain, I use the word false as being wrong or incorrect, and but because they said fallacy or whatever fallacy, I figured that was like a fancy way, and I was like, that's like a false way of thinking is how I got there. Like it's not necessarily wrong, just not enough, which makes it wrong. Kind of like not showing your work
Yeah.
in school.
Yeah. My thing is perpetrate faking the fraud.
Yeah.
So like if you perpetrating or you faking or you frauding, like, something
On purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah, because most of the time people are perpetrating faking the fraud on purpose. Acting like you really about something that you really not. Yeah, that's perpetrating, that's faking, that's frauding, or fraud in that sense. Then you have real fraud where you actually doing something illegal.
Criminal.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
in that sense, you're only gonna hurt yourself. In the first context of the way I'm using it, perpetrate faking the fraud. Right. In the second sense, you probably gonna end up going to jail,
Prison.
Right. Yeah, prison, one or the other. They
Crazy.
both don't sound like great places.
Hell nah.
For no time. And you're gonna end up with some type of fines and restitution or something. So your pocket's gonna get hit. So, don't create that fallacy to your own casualty.
Stay in school, kids, get a good job.
You
Make a
know,
lot of money.
I don't know. Obama said they shouldn't focus on money in sports. So,
Man, Obama.
yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it though. The flavor bombs is coming, y'all. Stick around. The flavor bombs is coming. You don't want to miss tonight's flavor bombs. Woo. But yeah. So that's what I think of when I hear the word fallacy. It's just, bad decisions, like kind of correlating what you were saying, like, not thought out all the way. Well, you actually went more in depth with it, like they not thought out, they're not, calculated, underinformed, or just willy-nilly. But I'm looking, but I correlate that with like, just you're about to do something that's going to be bad for you. You're not going to get the desired outcome that you think that you're going to have. Similar to your starting a business and people, thinking that That's crazy that the measure of the business is the Bentley. It's like
That's what I'm saying, right? And that's how. And
that's crazy.
I think that thought process is how we get the criminality
Mm.
by accident, not even on purpose, right? Just trying to avoid being shunned or being embarrassed for not being successful yet. Like, how could you be a business and still renting? How could you have a business and not have everything? You don't have a yacht yet, like real talk. You don't have like a private jet. You got a whole
But
company.
what's the scale of your business? What if you have Bentley money, but you prefer not to drive a Bentley
So you
because
got to go.
nobody else in your neighborhood has a Bentley? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
you got to show the money on Instagram or something.
Oh, you
You got
gotta
to
show it.
you got to
Oh
show
man.
you got to because otherwise you ain't really got it. How do I know you got it, son?
Mm,
Like,
mm.
because it matters, right? Because if I don't know you got it, it matters. I'm saying you ain't got
Oh man.
it.
I don't know.
You know, public opinion, God, like public opinion
I
is
don't know.
everything. If the public say it is what it is, then that's what it is. And
They could say it. They could
you
say,
you can't have it, God. Somebody must have gave it to you at the last minute, but you ain't have it before that.
oh, the Bentley. Man, it's not an asset. You
Not at
know,
all.
it's not an asset. Like who the one to own some shit that's just depreciating in value, you
Yeah,
know,
it's
like
crazy.
that's a toy, you know. And when you ready to have toys, then you'll have your toys. But some people find value in other things um like being able to take a vacation for 3 weeks,
That's
you
fine.
know. I heard this one cat say that he met this guy who owned a business and he wanted to know what he did because he said that him and his wife was on vacation for 8 weeks for 2 months.
Damn.
That means that everything at the house is taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
not a worry. Everything.
Wow, that's great.
You know what I'm saying? And you can just go. And on vacation, you spend. You doing what you want. You eating out. You staying where you want to stay. You seeing the shows that you want to see.
Definitely
You
spend it.
shopping. You shopping where you want to shop. Where do you have place to wash clothes? And you know what I'm saying? Unless you rented somewhere, unless where you staying at has that, or you know. So if you want to go buy something, you just go buy it. Like,
Hmm.
and you're not worried about it.
You're on vacation.
You on vacation, you know. So I think some people need to realize that, um, like you said, if you don't have, I think those yous need to worry about day business.
That's why I say support
You
your
know,
interest and live, because if you worried about what other people have expectations of you, and if that's your focus, then you're gonna die, right? Because it's too much.
they can have it.
Like, there's too much. They get this constant this. It's so much. Nah, bro, leave that alone.
Yeah, that's crazy though. But it is, you know, a part of the culture um encourages flashiness,
Mm.
you know. But then if you ain't come from that, you know, even though you grew up in it, that's why I be talking about, like, people don't have to jump off the bridge just because everybody else jumping off the fucking bridge.
Nah, you can go look to the overside like, damn, that's far. I'm
Yeah,
good.
you know, it could be like, y'all go ahead. I'm cool. I'm cool over here where I'm chilling at underneath this tree.
Correct.
This view is fine for me right here. I don't need to go jump at where they jumping at and doing what they doing. You know, if you value that, then why not come ask me why I'm not jumping and get a different perspective? Or why don't you just go ahead and go jump? You
Don't
know what I'm
don't
saying?
ask me anything.
Yeah, like it just don't
Like,
even worry about me. Let me
like
what I said. I said, don't worry about what I'm doing over here. Go find you some business to mind because I'm minding my own business.
facts. Like, don't ask
You
me
know?
nothing. Like, I never
Yeah.
understood that, right? If you got a divine revelation that said everybody got to go that way, like, what the hell you reaching back for me for? Like, carry your ass that way. Um,
Yeah.
get safe.
Yeah, find yourself something productive. Go be productive. Go be productive. And if it's jumping and ending it all, well, you know what I'm saying? See you at the crossroads.
You're gonna be lonely that day.
You're
I
gonna
ain't
be
gonna,
lonely, right?
I ain't gonna be with you.
I ain't gonna be with you, right? Because in some of them books, suicide is a sin. So I'm gonna believe those books. I'm gonna go with that story, you know, and we're gonna wait for our day that God got designed. We ain't gonna just go jump off the bridge because everybody else doing it. That's a wild thing that that's so crazy though, God. That's wild. That's so wild that people think that people
I think that
measure
I think that is a fallacy, right? Like jumping off the bridge because
success
everybody else is jumping off the bridges. The whole thought process is crazy.
off of things.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the wildest shit to me that people measure success off of things, you know. Because I don't see you with this, then I don't think that you have that.
You
It's
clearly
like
don't.
if I wanted you to see it, then I would show it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why it's so difficult, but you know, people don't have enough business of their own to mind. That's what it is. That's everybody minding your business. I mean, like we online, we on the internet, right? So it ain't no big deal. But what we doing is something different too. I could see if this was a car show and we was you know, car collectors, then that's something different. That's the only way I would even go out here and spend that type of money on cars if I was collecting them for a purpose to have car shows and things like that.
Correct.
For me to think that it matters that I go out here and pay $1,200-$1,300 to drive just to have a vehicle, God bless them.
Yeah.
God bless them. We can't do it. It's foolish. That money need to be somewhere invested. So tonight, y'all, we are smoking on the word fallacy. And we're going to go ahead and bring up this definition. Fallacy, a noun, a false or mistaken idea, erroneous character. 2, deceptive appearance, deception. They have 2B as obsolete, which is guile or trickery.
Damn.
And then we have 3, an often plausible argument using false or invalid inference. False or mistaken idea.
I think what I was talking about was 3.
Often a plausible argument using false or invalid inference.
Yeah. Not thinking enough. Not knowing all the facts. Not knowing that they need, certain licenses before they can start doing certain things. For instance, like they're making it tough for farmers in some places where composting is becoming illegal, right? To where now you need to get a permit if you want to compost on your property. Without that, then it's like 5 of them you need to actually do it, right? And without that, then they shut you down. You get fines, and you got to bag up all your crap and dump it out, and that becomes a whole expense, buying plastic bags to take it to the dump. Right? It kind of don't make sense to me, but like there's a lot of things that's going on.
An often plausible argument using false or invalid inference. I want to check out this word right here.
What's that?
infrence. Something that is inferred, a conclusion or opinion that is formed because of known facts or evidence. The act or process of inference, such as the act of passing from one proposition, statement, or judgment considered as true to another's whose truth is believed to follow from that of the former. The act of passing from statistical sample data to generalizations as the value of population parameters, usually with calculated degrees of certainty. The premises and conclusion of a process of inferring. Okay. So looking at inferring a plausible argument of force or invalid.
Invalid.
That says invalid.
Invalid. Yeah.
Okay. So it's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of, let's go back to it real quick. Oh, here we go. It's the opposite of true. Judgment considered as true to another whose truth is believed to follow from that of the former. Conclusion of opinion that is formed because of known facts or evidence.
Yeah.
So it's opposite of facts or evidence.
It's wrong off the start. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Jumping out the window.
You know. So that's where I wanted to make sure that we capture that, because it says a false or mistaken idea at one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that captures what a fallacy is, you know.
Yeah.
So it's false. It's falseness. It's nothing true.
It's all wrong. Damn.
It's, you know, and this is why we get a deception here. This is why we get erroneousness.
Trickery.
And this is why we get trickery and guile. Okay. So let's see how they give it to us in the thesaurus. In the thesaurus, we have fallacy as in delusion.
Damn.
And as in deception. All right. A false idea or belief. And we get delusion, myth, error, illusion, misconception, superstition, misunderstanding, falsehood, misbelief, untruth, hallucination, falsity, distortion, pretense, lie, misrepresentation, old wives' tale, fiction, misperception, misinterpretation, a tale, pretense, misapprehension, misstatement, miscomprehension, misinformation, inaccuracy. What's that? Sophism. Okay. Sophism. Misjudgment, factoid, sophistry, sophistry. Okay. Half truth, story, a fib. You telling fibs? Nah, your ass lying. Misknowledge and misreport. And all of this is what? That is delusion. That is fallacy, falseness. A false idea or belief. Okay. Then we have it as in deception, the quality or state of being false. Deception, deceptiveness, delusion, falseness, fallaciousness, falsehood, erroneousness, untruth, falsity, spuriousness. I put the U before the P. Spuriousness, speciousness.
Yeah.
Inaccuracy, dishonesty, incorrectness, untruthfulness, mendacy.
Yeah. Mendaciousness.
And mendaciousness. mendacity,
Mendacity.
mendaciousness. Okay. So all of this, everything about a fallacy is
Is
some
wrong.
BS.
Is wrong.
Everything about a fallacy is wrong. And now I understand how a person could create this to their own casualty.
100%.
Okay. So because you can be delusional,
Blame
you know,
somebody else.
or you can be in a state of deception. You can be in a state of delusion, or you can be in a state of deception. But both of them is false. There's no truth there. There's no truth to you. So we have fallacy, a false or mistaken idea, erroneous character, erroneousness, a deceptive appearance, deceptive, guile, trickery, and often plausible argument using false or invalid inference, which means incorrect information, false information, lying. You lying. You lying.
No more, no less, really.
You lying. You lying.
Oh man, I was thinking way too much about that shit. I mean, I think it's still what my thought process lend towards number 3, but with all those that whole delusional thing is ridiculous, bro. Like that's
Oh no, it gets better. It gets better. Yes, it gets a lot more in depth, and when we get into these questions 2 and 3, you're gonna see where like I'm just gonna tie some dots. I'm gonna connect some dots because what I did was see what I think is manipulators manipulate. And what they do is like manipulators always think they smarter than other people. That's a key trait for people who try to manipulate others all the time. It's like, oh, I'm smarter than you, so watch me do this. Okay. And when you have the word fallacy and you understand it as a falsity, all right, then you can perpetuate it. So we're gonna talk more about it as the show goes on, you know, because yes, great at rap, but there's still human error.
Correct.
And that's a fact, and that's a, in my opinion, a person becoming their own words. So tonight, y'all, we are smoking on the word fallacy. And we say, what tools do we have? Our second question is what tools do we have as people to recognize or avoid fallacy? What tools do we have as people to recognize or avoid fallacy? Now that we understand that fallacy is lies, it's falsities. What you think, God?
Now that I know what the definition is, right? The tools that we have, obviously, we have our brains, right? And with our brains, it comes with the ability to slow down, right? We can slow down and and actually have consideration for the person that we're talking to, right? And think about the things that they saying to you. You know, have you heard this before? Are you knowledgeable on this subject? Right? If you are knowledgeable on this subject, is what they telling you factual or infactual, right? If you're not knowledgeable on a subject, clearly it's probably not a good time to agree to something if this is the first time you're hearing about it right now, right? So you can't, so somebody shouldn't be able to sway you if you didn't know about a thing before. Now you know about it, and now you got a tiki torch. Like that's too much, right? I think you should have took some time to process, what the hell is going on and what you are willing to do, because it might elevate or escalate from a tiki torch to the Molotovs, right? And you might not be ready for jail time, right? Or for what might come out of that. We also have in today's society, right? We have Siri, we have Meta, we have Google. You know what I'm saying? Like we got smartphones that we can literally ask questions like, is this true? Can we walk on the moon? Like, is what all this stuff that you can just ask. Um, we have a lot of resources, right? That's why I say about not jumping out the window, because we have so many resources for, even if you had to make a quote unquote quick decision, right? Like your phone, your computer is in your hand, and you have access to the whole wide world full of information, right? Depending on the country you're currently in, and what they might restrict. Um,
That's tough because then how do you discern what's false and what's the
oh no,
fallacy and what's
oh,
not?
oh no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
like
tough.
that's why I said we got our brains, and we got to slow down, because it all comes down to you and what you need right then and there. Because how do you know what's right and wrong? Like, if all you got is the information that has been afforded to you, if you haven't, that's why I'm of the mindset that you can only know things by your five senses, right? Unless you experience those things yourself for real, you kind of really don't know, right? You kind of going off belief. Um, and I get it that we learn from other people's experiences and stuff like that, and I'm saying we accept those things as belief, but there's so much manipulation and so much AI, everything. It's hard. It's hard to know what's real and what's not real, which is why I say, right, we should slow down and not jump out the window. Because if you didn't know about it yesterday and you just finding out about it right now, your only reaction should be, I need to go research and learn, right? And then based off that learning and based off that research, then you come up with a plan for what you want to do next or whatever, right? But nobody should be allowed, not allowed. You shouldn't allow anybody to be able to put a battery in your back, literally, and inform you and energize you um against your will. All right. So our tool is like we got tools, bro. We got our brain and we got modern technology. Right. We got the like I got my security plus degree cert, right? Because of YouTube. Right? We got resources. It didn't cost me anything but to take the test. Right? We got resources, we got tools. We just gotta want to use them.
That's key. That's key. So yeah, if y'all just joining us, we are answering the second question of this evening. What tools do we have as a people to recognize or avoid fallacy? And the guy Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Fund was just exchanging some very great insights. And one of the things that he was saying, we have our brain. I'm going to actually credit that to critical thinking. However, everyone isn't taught to critically think and what critical thinking is. It isn't taught on a basic level throughout the culture, throughout the school system. You know, like you're taught to take the test. You're not taught to think outside of the test. So, because that is the foundation for the learning, critical thinking has to be introduced somewhere else in your experience in life. You know, I don't know where people will get it from. I don't know if you just live long enough, but I mean, I know some old fools, you know, and that's just my opinion of them, you know, but I'm sure some other people that know them share the same opinion. So it can't be far off that we just disagree with their actions or, you know, some of the things that they do, how they conduct themselves. And some people champagne their campaigns, you know, that's their business. But to avoid it, I don't think we have anything to avoid it. And the reason why I say we don't have anything to avoid it is because people take advantage of people. And you might think you know somebody, and you may have helped somebody, and you may have loved them, and you may have treated them better than you treat your own family, some people in your own family. And then they act like they never received that type of love. So when we talk about fallacy, when we talk about deception, that's one of the words in there: deception, trickery, erroneous character, often a plausible argument, but using false or invalid inference. Now, everybody entitled to have their feelings. You can't tell nobody how to feel. But when and why are we allowing as a culture for feelings to be more important than facts? Why are we allowing feelings to be more important than logic? Why are we supporting this? Because a person will say, well, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, this is how I feel. But that's how you feel. That ain't what is the facts. And just like logic said, just like fallacy said, the definition is invalid inference. That means falsity, not non-factual. That means that the facts are being left out. Where it's not that he was wrong, it's how he said it. So that validates. So now people getting on the bandwagon agreeing with a person's actions. So to me, that shit corny for the people who agree with that shit. and it's corny and sucker shit for the people that do that type of shit. Because that's creating a fallacy. Now, you could say you don't need a person. I remember you said one time earlier show we had, well, yeah, you got me here, but you ain't get me here. All right. Well, that sounds like an ungrateful motherfucker for you helping them get to that position.
In the first place.
That sound like maybe they was just trying to use you to see how far, to see what they could get out of you and how far they could ride your coattail before they jumped off and said, fuck you, I don't need you. So you can't avoid shit like that when you loving on people. When you opening your home, when you opening your heart, when you opening your wallet, when you opening your mind, your resources, anything, it's all open. It's all extending that. So when you do that, how then I don't think that we have any tools for that. Now, remember what I said before. I ain't never got fucked over by my enemy. Because once my enemy showed theyself, I knew how to play myself. I knew how to not play myself. I knew how to play it. That's why a person have a problem with you when you ask them, is it fuck you? Is it fuck me? Are we there? Because if it is, then I want to be able to know so I can conduct myself correctly. You see? But when you're not used to dealing with real people who will come and talk to you and say, look, I'm not on that. I don't want it to be that, but I need to know if it's that, because if it's that, then shit, you can't just fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, like, I don't know who you used to dealing with, but not over here. I ain't on that, because I won't treat you like that. Not because I'm bigger or better or nothing. I don't treat people like that.
Wrong is wrong.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to try you. If you try me, I'll show you, because I got some demons that I still deal with too. But if you ain't trying me, then then it should be all love. It shouldn't be no, because I'm not trying you. You know, so people create the fallacies. That's why I fuck with the line. Like I get a credit where the credit is due. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with the line. People will create a fallacy, falsities. Remember what I said? Like, how you gonna apologize to somebody and be like, I sincerely apologize to you, but you keep doing the same shit? That ain't no sincere apology. That's a falsity. That's a fallacy. That's a fuck you. Because you don't even bother to have a conversation and say, I'm working on it. I'm trying. No, you know what I'm saying? So these are the type of things where I'm talking about, like, if you're not extending love, if you're not trying to figure this shit out, if you're not having a conversation, like trying to figure out, like, hey, what's going on? What's this? Like, how can I help? What can we do to resolve this? Where are we at with the situation? What you on? What type of time you on? Like, however people understand the communication, those things are to resolve issues. They not to continue to be confrontational. They not to continue to go tit for tat on nigga shit, on dumb shit that is counterproductive. That means it doesn't help everyone. That means it's not good for everybody. It's not peaceful. It's not positive. It's not productive. And that's what we be on. So I don't think that we possess that when we showing love. I think that if it's an enemy and somebody presents themselves as an enemy and then let you know that they're an enemy, then, or you already presume that to be, then now, you know what I'm saying, then you can see them things because you're going to have your defense up. So you're going to be on the lookout. You're going to have your antennas and shit up so you can be watching moves and trying to make sure, you know what I'm saying? But who the fuck want to live like that? If you're not the military, you know what I'm saying? Why you want to live like I'm retired? So that's why I want to keep people around that's loving, that you can trust, that don't have no problem with if you got to check me or I got to check you. You know why? Because we keep things in check. That's what we do. It ain't a bigger me or a bigger you. It's we keeping things in check, because we got to coexist. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
It's the mission, bro. What we got to do.
You know, so because critical thinking isn't taught, because people take longer to mature, people take longer to understand things, people learn at different speeds. You know, like this is all fair stuff I'm talking about. People learn at different speeds, people interpret things, you know, and don't know how to ask questions. They misinterpret things and then assume stuff because communication is poor, you know. It leads to this, and then it leads to more falsities. It leads to more things where it's like what did it say? More deception.
Now, when they said that deception part, did you think was from your perspective, was that them deceiving people or them being deceived?
It don't matter. It don't matter. It's not about who doing it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to resolve something, if you're trying to be peaceful, positive, and productive, if you're trying to support your interests and live, if you're trying to do any of them things, if you're trying to each one teach one, if you're trying to build, if you're trying to, you know, to solve a problem, if you're trying to have a solution, there should be no deception.
Yeah.
You know, it should be sincerity. It should be compassion. Those things that we talking about. It should be, I trust your word until you show me that your word ain't shit. I wouldn't have trusted your word if you wouldn't have told me that. You know what I'm saying? I would have never had an expectation if you would have never set the expectation. That's what people don't get. Like, I don't tell my wife I'm going to do something unless I'm going to do it.
For real.
You know?
That'd be suicide.
If she asks me to do something, babe, can you do this? Yes, I'm going to do it. You know why? Now, even though she asked me and I said yes, then now she has the expectation that is going to get done, whatever it is.
Yep.
That's the way things work. It's not the shit ain't rocket science. If it's God, are you gonna meet me? Are we doing the show this Sunday? Yeah, God, I'm gonna pull up. So now in my brain, I'm thinking we gonna be here. If I get here and you don't show up, the only reason why I had the expectation is because when I asked, you told me, yes, we doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have had the expectation if you would have said, nah, God, you know, whatever the situation is. So this shit ain't different with different people. That's real fucking life. With everybody. With your employer. Are you gonna be at work tomorrow? Yeah, I'm gonna be at your employer fucking looking for you. Who's setting the trash out? I'm taking the trash out. Okay. Well, then the other person they expecting for you because you said you was doing it. If you would have said, nah, I'm not, can you get it? Then guess what? They wouldn't have developed that expectation. You know, so these fallacies, man, I can't even wait to get to the bad, good, misunderstood. But I'm like, you know what I'm saying? God, for real. But I'm like, when we asking the question, like, what tools do we have to recognize it? Like, yeah, everybody don't have critical thinking. You know, everybody, we see by people's actions that they aren't available. Some people aren't mature enough, haven't lived long enough, haven't developed enough experience, like you were saying earlier, and you're making your points that, like, you know, you have to live and experience things true, you know, but some people don't. But I'm talking about like avoiding it. We can avoid it when we know it's when you just have that feeling that, like, okay, this some bad shit. This got to be false. You know, from social medias to things you see to food to anything, you know. But when you loving, you know, when you trying to actually love on people and they ain't never been loved before, they don't know what the shit look like. They get all their cues from what we was talking about, the movies and TV and all this other fuckery. You know what I'm saying? Then they don't understand it. And then they be too scared to ask questions because they think that somebody will down them because they just need somebody to be a little bit more patient with listening to them. But you don't know that until you actually go and do what? Try to pull somebody's ear.
Now that I'm thinking about it, so when they do teach critical thinking, in my mind, I'm remembering it's taught almost like situationally, where if you get into this business situation, this is when you will use critical thinking instead of all the time, right? It
From the
felt,
time you wake up out the bed, you are critically thinking.
but I don't remember the class focusing on that. I don't remember what I do remember getting the impression that this was not how to live my life day to day. This is gonna make us all better. It seemed very corporate. Um, what'd you say? How to take the test?
How to take a test, right?
Like that. It was a whole lot of that. Making sure you study the right way so that you can pass the exam that they want you to pass. Whether or not you comprehend all the information or not necessarily important at this time.
That's what's measuring your wit. That's what says
Yeah.
that you're intelligent or you're smart, because you can take these tests,
Take these tests.
right? And you can go and you can score good grades.
Mhm.
But then we have a whole culture now, a whole group of young people that are struggling to find jobs with college degrees who got A's and B's. But they're failing horribly in social skills. They're failing horribly in relationships. They're failing horribly in managing themselves just personally. So, I mean, but they could read the hell out some books. They can answer the questions on some tests. And then a person like myself, my past will always be what a person want to look at with me. People who know me, the people who don't champagne my campaign and are appreciative of where I came from, because I ain't wearing where I'm from on my sleeve.
Nah, son.
Where you meet me at, this is what you seeing right now. This where I'm at. Fuck where I'm from. It's a reason. Obviously, I'm not there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a reason. Why? Because what they gonna do when I go back? They not champagning my campaign to come back. Come on, man. We got these resources for you. I had to go and get my own fucking resources. I had to go and build my own shit up. And then when you do go and try to, oh man, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I see what you're doing. I, you know, that's cool and everything, but I ain't, you know, you know.
That's funny. That's
So
corny.
then what? That shit corny as fuck, you know. But it don't make me no never mind, bro. Because I'm just like, guess what, God? We gotta keep on pushing. We gotta keep going forward, being thankful that, you know what, we don't gotta go back to that shit. We don't need it.
Facts. Sucker free.
It ain't no benefit. It wasn't beneficial then. It ain't beneficial now. Okay. So am I supposed to still see the treasure buried in it or what the fuck ever? Like, nah. That's a fallacy. That would be false. Because if you see the person making progress, But this is the thing, like you said earlier, guy. They don't see the Bentley. They don't see the this. They don't see the that. You know? So that's what was, the Kendrick Lamar song. That's why that song is full of fuckery. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Show niggas what? I don't want to show a nigga shit. Fuck a nigga. I don't want to show a nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we got some men and some women that need to be educated and see some things so we can grow and we can develop, what Biggie Smalls say? Fuck niggas, fuck bitches, get money. Plain and simple. Keep winning.
That's it.
We not creating no fallacies. We not gonna be on no false shit thinking that shit is cool. And people paying their bills, being successful, having fun, enjoying life, supporting their interests, being productive. It's corny. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna promote that. We're not gonna encourage that. We're not gonna think little kids running around cursing and shit, not knowing they school words, but they know all the fuck and all the fuckery. They know all of that.
Nah.
But they don't know they school shit though. They struggling with that, but they outside in the street and they can cuss your ass out. But when you go look at their grades, oh, you getting prepared for prison. Somebody is allowing your little dumb ass to be prepared for prison. A fallacy. Because you got to be tough. For what? For what? Obama saying every black, like we need a gay man in our group now.
Man, fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just like, and that's nothing against gay men, but I don't agree with that shit.
Nothing against gay men.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't agree with that shit at all. But we're gonna get to that though. But we talking about the word fallacy tonight, y'all, and that's what we smoking on. And we've been answering these questions tonight. Our first question was, what do you think of when you hear the word fallacy? Let us know what you think of when you hear the word fallacy, or even if you ever even heard the word fallacy. If it's just like, damn, this is a whole new word. I ain't even know what this word was. This shit even exists. Where the hell this word come from? Any of that thing. Let us know in the comment section. All right. Our second question this evening: what tools do we have as people to recognize or avoid fallacy? And I'll put it in layman terms, y'all, for y'all to answer in the comment section. Fake shit. What tools do we have for people to recognize or avoid fake shit?
Yeah.
Fakeness, phoniness, deception, liars. You don't when you loving. You don't because you're not coming from a point of fakeness. You coming from a point of, I'm going to extend trust. So I'm taking your word as I can trust you. It is only until now your words don't match your actions that the trust is broken. That goes for everybody. That is not a me or you or me too or LGBTQ thing. That's for everybody. That's for every single human being that knows the difference between right and wrong. And we did a show on right. It was one of the episodes. Y'all can go check that out too. Because we thought we was using right and wrong.
Turns out.
Turns out we was right. So, you know, for real, because I ain't know. Like I told you beginning of the show, God, I ain't know what the hell fallacy was. Like I just heard it. It sounded like some fakes. It sound like you're doing something wrong and it's gonna hurt you. You know, so fake shit is fake shit. You know, it's different. It's different than when a couple of fake designers or something like that. You know, like that ain't gonna hurt you. Save your money anyway. You know, but when you talking about, you know, doing some fake shit like to a person, to somebody that, you know, that might help you out, that might, you know, that or has helped you out, like, you know what I'm saying? That shit is corny. That shit is 100% corny, and that is, you know, that is the clown shit. That is the real clown shit for real. You know, because everybody does not have to extend grace. You know, everybody does not have to be compassionate. And that's one of them things that, like, as you learn, as you mature, as you experience more things, like the God Ali at BK Soul, the God Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm was saying, as you experience more things, you will see where those situations where people are not and where people are. And when you start measuring that, you know, what you want, would it's just, oh, cool, fuck them. That's the attitude. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. I don't like this. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, family. Like,
That's so lazy.
that's lazy as shit.
Lazy. That's upstairs, lazy.
You know, that's a quitter's attitude. That's a quitter's mindset. That's a loser's mindset. That's losers quit. Losers quit. It's a difference between knowing that I gave up. When I gave up, I stopped. And I did something different. But losers quit. I quit. I don't want to. That sound like a child. That don't sound like an adult that's saying, how do I figure this out?
Nope.
Or
figure nothing out.
Or I've had enough, so I'm choosing to do something else. We've been smoking on the word fallacy, y'all, and we just got finished answering. Unless you got anything else to add to this, guy, to what tools do we have as people to recognize or avoid false fallacy?
Nah, it's hard, bro. They got us Democrat, Republican, Christian, Islam, Judaism. Like, it's hard to know what's right and wrong. Did we come from Africa? Was we already here? This is it's hard, right? And couple that with our inability to, or our not inability, but undesirousness to put in the work and put in the effort to do our due diligence, right? We've been taught, right? And the way that we learn now is the easy button. We want things the easy way. You know, we want somebody else to put the work in and to make a policy that's everybody else got to follow. It's just laziness, man. I don't know. Critical thinking needs to be more often than just in certain situations. Like, you need to be thinking critically always. And it sounds impossible, but if you're thinking, you should be thinking critically.
I don't know, guy. Maybe solution based. You know, like I've heard somebody use that term colloquially, solution based. I'm just like, man, look, I'm with you. Would you just say, guy? Like, it should be critical. You know, it should be critically. Like, how do we make sure that this shit is not, that we don't have to go through this shit no more, on a positive too, not on a negative. You know,
Yeah.
on a positive note. Like, how do we make sure we don't have to go through this no more, and this isn't an issue anymore? This isn't a negative thing to interrupt our peace. You know, like that's the way the thought process should be working. But you know, I really think some people just really evil. I think that, you know, I used to not think that, you know, I used to think that was some churchy stuff, you know, but
I ain't gonna lie, I'm with you, God. Like I did not want to think that for real, but now it's like, man, I'm with you.
yeah, you know, like now I just think like some people just they feed off of drama. They
Yeah,
feed off of evil. Like they have to have something negative in their life in order for them to feel validated,
yeah.
you know.
They need
And
something to laugh at.
you know, I don't know if it's funny, you know. I don't know if it's funny. I don't know if that's funny. I don't have that spirit energy, you know. So I don't know what that's about. But I'm starting to think that it is some people who just are evil. They just, you know, no matter how much good they come in contact with, they're gonna find something fucked up about it. You said something or a show on one of you always saying something positive on the shows, but you said looking for flaws. Looking for flaw.
That's terrible, ain't it?
You know, when a person's just trying to see what is bad, you know, and then my opposite is like I always look at both sides of the coin because the flaw is easy to see. The negative part is always easy to see. So I'm looking at like, okay, well, this shit is negative, but what positive can come out of this? You know, because I want to win. I think a positive is a win.
Yeah.
You know, and not selfishly. I want everybody to win. So I'm like, well, how can we both win out of this situation? How do we both get what we desire? How do we both get what we want? You know, but if it's removing me or removing you and we aren't removable, then then what needs to be looked for is the peace.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't just go and be like, okay, well, I'm gone, or I'm, you know, or like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I'm taking my basketball and I'm going
I'm
home.
taking my basketball and I'm going home. All right, fine. You know what I'm
Fine.
saying? No problem. You know, like that. I think that's fair. Sometimes people need to take their basketball and go home. So yeah, so we've been smoking on the word fallacy, y'all, and it's about that time that we jump into tonight's flavor bombs.
Flavor bomb.
So we got the flavor bombs tonight, y'all. We got ice cold deportations. Ice cold deportations. Y'all know that ICE has been deporting you know, they've been deporting everybody. You know, I learned some stories today.
Everybody.
You know, like it is not the Latino
It's
community. It is a lot of people, and I just was like, wow. I learned something today that I was just completely dumbfounded, had no knowledge of, and I'm gonna share that story once we go through some of these clips. But then we have advice 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 from the Obamas. Former First Lady Michelle Obama has a podcast now, and her and former President Barack Obama was on there, and they was just sharing some things, I guess some parental advice and some social advice, I don't know. But we're gonna take a little bit of look at that. And then robots by Elon coming soon. So we see a lot of jobs that have been it's a lot of downsizing going on. So you know, with all of this downsizing and layoffs and things like that going on, I think that you know, Elon right now, we see him taking shots at President Trump with the whole Epstein situation and all of that stuff. But they coming after Elon right now, like with Twitter. He got it's a little thing that's going on with Elon with Twitter where they got him in court saying that he did some type of fraudulent activity with the acquisition of Twitter. So they kind of going back and forth at each other. In public, everybody's seeing it being presented as the Epstein stuff. In the courts, it's a little bit more based on his business dealings. However, Elon ain't going nowhere, not even to jail or getting deported. But these robots is coming soon. So we're going to take a look at that.
Right. What the hell is the truth?
What the hell is the truth? What the hell is the truth? I don't know, God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because if the courts is talking about some business stuff, as a citizen, I would be more concerned about that stuff than Epstein stuff. If we can't get them on the Epstein stuff, then or whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
Well, you won't be able to get Trump on anything. Like what people, you know, what people need to stop.
Didn't he beat like isn't he like convicted 35 times already? Like,
well,
how many convictions he get? Like how many charges, something like that?
Look, this is what I don't count. I don't count the charges of a person who can pardon themselves. So that's why it isn't even worth me trying to figure it out. Like, you know, like if anybody does a podcast on it or article on it or anything, like it's a waste of breath. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy because he can pardon himself.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you can't do nothing about it. Nothing. So why even act like it even is a thing? And if he commits any crimes now, you know, or if he was to be convicted of anything now, or, you know, like he's walking a very, very, you know, like he's making sure that he's going to be straight when he leaves, because he won't get another term to be a president to exonerate himself, right? So he's not going to do anything this time that's going to be something that is, you know, where he would have to deal with that type of recourse. So he's walking a different line this time because he knows, like, okay, on his way out the door, he can exempt himself because Biden did it. He exempted himself and his family from anything and then future stuff too. So they have future stuff too. So that's why I was like, wow, okay. So they're able to do that because Biden just did it. So it's like, so why even trip? Why even worry? Why even concern yourself with what the president of the United States, what type of crimes he's doing? Like, I mean, who cares?
That's a fact.
You know, it's sad that we have to get to that, but like,
oh man,
who cares? Like, who cares? You know, like honesty is just, it's not in the policy. Honesty is not in the policy, God. You know, so it's a different set of rules. Got to become the president.
That's crazy.
Let's check out these ICE agents, though. This is crazy right here.
The Sacramento County Sheriff's Office says federal Border Patrol agents detained 8 people at a parking lot outside of the Home Depot. It is the first high-profile immigration enforcement raid in that county. And the wife of one of the men detained tells our Tori Apodaca that she has no idea where her husband is now.
Witnesses described it as just chaotic. They say that day laborers were running in every which direction. Some were tackled, beaten, and mazed. We spoke with the wife of one of the men who was arrested. She says her husband called her when he says he saw masked men with their weapons drawn. Then the phone call dropped. So she rushed down here, and this is what she saw next.
No! Man! Man! Don't resist!
She recorded the federal agents taking her husband, Jose Manuel Castillo, into custody. She says he is a U.S. citizen born in Sacramento who was just doing his job. The nonprofit NorCal Resist that has been assisting immigrants says that Jose was a volunteer for the group, sent to the Home Depot to observe and document the raid. But a Fox News correspondent who was doing a ride-along with Border Patrol posted that one person who appears to be Jose was detained for slashing one of the federal agents' tires.
And my husband was just kidnapped. They didn't tell me where they're taking him. They didn't ask him for identification. They wouldn't let me near him. And they're threatening me. They're threatening to mace me and arrest me.
The U.S. Border Patrol chief posted this video on X, confirming they were conducting operations across Sacramento Thursday and arrested at least 8 people. One of those a convicted aggravated felon and another for interfering and assaulting an officer.
What you got? What you got? What you got? I'm ready to go in. I'm ready to go in.
I got a few things, right? So firstly, this is why I say, right, like, if I'm not there to see that shit happening, or if it's hard for me to accept things as truth, right? I'm thinking like day labor still going to Home Depots.
Yes,
like for real, like that's crazy.
Yes. Man, let me tell you something.
Like,
I am mad that we don't have them. I'm mad that we don't have them where I'm at.
Like,
you know how much, man? Do you know how much shit I would have done at my house if we had that here?
Dog, I did not know. Like,
man, what? When I was in New York, man, I used to go and do stuff, and like when I was moving on active duty and stuff like that, up in Philly and all those Northeast, man, boy, I used to go to the Home Depot, get guys to come in and do all types of stuff, man. Like, yeah, hell yeah, like that's some bullshit, Trump. That's some bullshit, man. Like, leave the Home Depot guys alone, man. For real, I'm so mad. I'm so mad that we don't have Home Depot guys here, man. I wish we did. You know. I honestly do. Like get the gang members, get all the criminals and the illegals and stuff like that. But I'm like, fam, the people at the Home Depot though, man, like I'm disabled veteran, man. Certain shit I can't lift. Certain stuff it take me a little bit of time to do. Then certain technical skills I don't have, you know. So we in an area where it's like if you ain't got the money to go to the big box place, then you ain't gonna get your shit done, you know. But let's say you got a vision, you got an idea, and you got a couple guys up there at the Home Depot. You can come back, and as long as you habla poquito, you know what I'm saying, you can get some trabajar, you know what I'm saying, you can get some work done, baby. So I'm like, come on, man.
And now you can use your phone for all that. Even
if you wanted to use your phone, you can. Come on, man. You could get all types of shit built out and everything, and you know, man, it's fucked up. It's fucked up for real that they doing that to the guys at the Home Depot, man. Because I know plenty of times I done went to the Home Depot up north and got guys, man, and they work this stuff, you know, help, especially like when you trying to move and you got all that shit you got to lift, bruh. I done went to Home Depot guy and got guys, you know, and I pack up everything. You know, military, you move, you do a Diddy move. You pack up all your stuff. You know, you wrap it up, everything. Then you go get your U-Haul truck. You run up to Home Depot, grab some guys, man. They come have that shit loaded up, and like, you know, you got about 5 or 6 guys, man. What you thought you was looking at was gonna take you a day and a half to load up the truck. You done got the truck loaded in like 3 hours, bought them some Gatorades, broke everybody off. You know what I'm saying? Dropped them back off. They like, my friend, You know what I'm saying? I'll be here. I'm here. If you need me some more, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, that is. I'm for real. I wish we had day labor at the Home Depot up here. I wish when we rode up there to the Home Depot, it was guys all in the parking lot. For real. They'd be working out here. When nobody had them up there, it'll be a rush trying to get them. I swear to God, they would.
See, and I be seeing cats standing around in Home Depot, and I never assume day labor. I'm like, I don't know what the hell y'all do, right? Like, it just don't make any sense to me. Because, like, for me, if I'm trying to get some work, I gotta sign up. I'm making it known. Like, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to work. Like, what I be seeing, I be seeing a lot of cats just sitting on the stoop or on the curb, looking at me like I'm in their way or something like that. Or so I don't even be knowing if they daily. I be like, I don't even want to be wanting to offend anybody. Be like, yo, y'all looking for work, because
it's not enough of us. Okay. It's not enough of us now. If the African Americans started piling up in the Home Depot parking lot with the skill sets that these guys, they're gonna get picked up. It wouldn't be no different, God.
I just need to know you want to work.
I don't think it would even be a racial ethnicity thing. I think if whatever ethnicity of people would just be piled up with those type of skills. I'm talking about with plumbing, drywall, everything but electrical. Because you gotta always go through the county, get permits or whatever to get your electrical stuff done, right? Fair enough. But you talking about anything else, concrete, masonry, you talking about drywall, and come on, man. Like, them guys getting scooped up. You would ride up there late and be like, damn, I thought I was gonna be able to get somebody. For real. You get up there past 11 o'clock, man, you probably gonna get the drunks, for real. But they still gonna work. They still gonna do their thing, because them guys be out there really trying to feed their family, man. They don't be out there on no bullshit. I never met any guys in that situation in a Home Depot that I truly didn't respect and didn't appreciate the service that they provided, and I mean, it just helped tremendously. Man. Like, even if you disabled and you can't cut your own grass, and there's services, but the services might be charging high as shit. You might just go up to Home Depot, be like, my friend, you want to cut some grass and shit? You know what I'm saying? Boom, you come, give them a couple dollars. You might save 20. You might say 20, $25 on what the services are charging. So that's crazy, man. Trump got cooled. He got to cool out, Trump. That's a little bit too much. ICE got to pull back, man. Y'all got to pull back on the Home Depot. I know can't nothing be off limits. But then the other story I wanted to share with you was this. I was talking to a family member in Atlanta, and they shared with me that the CEO of MARTA. Now this is crazy, because ICE has no limitations. That's why it says ICE code deportations. The CEO of MARTA was a Canadian citizen, but born Nigerian. He got deported. He was the CEO of MARTA on a work visa. Okay, on a work visa, and they deported him. So that's not the first story that I heard of that. A brother of mine in Charlotte, his wife was telling me that one of her co-workers got deported too. They work in finance. Okay,
that's crazy.
That was crazy. I was like, what? And he was from somewhere in South America, and he was here, but he'd been in a position for like 7 years or whatever. And he had he had a work visa as well, and they deported him too. So they're not just going after criminals and illegals, you know. They're going after they kicking out people who are actually being productive members of society as well, you know, non-criminals.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so ice is cold. They cold on them. And I cracked the joke. I said, shit, pretty soon we're gonna be having to drive around without birth certificates and shit on the phone. Like, look.
I heard somebody say that we need to with our passports and shit, right? Like, hell yeah. Like that's bananas.
That shit, I'm laughing, but I don't know. I said I got veteran on my license, so I ain't scared. I was like, there's some of these other jokers that they want to pick their ass up.
God, like I think they'll deport some of these veterans too. That I don't think nobody's safe.
I ain't going that hard. I gotta hear that first. I've been hearing about the people who are citizens of of another place and they on work visas, and that's like the extent. But I haven't heard of nobody that's like
my wife's uncle he served, what is it, the Vietnam, one of them old ass wars and some shit like that. Here, and he was here in America, and he got deported.
No crime or nothing.
Drunk and disorderly and shit like that. Like he was.
Okay, so I mean, 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you out. Like, it's rules to this shit. You know, the only thing you free to do is follow the damn rules.
Oh no, I'm just saying, right? Like, but in that case, like everybody would be committing a crime. Like once your visa runs out or you overstay, like a lot of them, like you turn into a criminal quick.
Yeah, that's why I said birth certificate. Birth certificate. If you was born here, are you native?
That drunk and disorderly, not for nothing, is just another sailor or soldier with PTSD that need help.
That's a fact. That's a
fact.
That
did not get help. Instead, he got punished for sacrificing for this country, and they sent his ass back home.
You know, that's unfortunate.
But he did commit a crime, right? Drunk and disorderly over and over again. So he did, quote unquote, warrant. Per the guidelines.
If it's not any insult to injury, I got an uncle that had to do 3 years because he's a combat veteran, and he had to do 3 years in prison because of DUIs, drunken disorderlies. You DWIs, just drunk all the time.
Nobody get a pass.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they not playing, man. Like I said, that's why I said, like, freedom, we free to follow the rules. You know, anybody think that it's not that, like, you're gonna learn. You know,
which is why I don't understand why everybody gravitate to the negative TV shows that portrays all the violence and the drugs and the criminality and just the hood rats behavior. Like it's like those things are made more and more and more and more and more, and it's like, oh, that's what we want, that's what people need. And it's like that thing it stops being entertainment and becomes people's actual real life. They actually start, trying to be like the character on TV.
Right. But you know why, God? Because those people who do that, being a young person who was heavily influenced by shit like that. All right. That's why, like, I don't have a TV in the house now. You know?
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, like, I don't have television in the house. You know what I'm saying? The majority of those people aren't trying to do anything else. You know, they don't care about being wealthy. They don't care about generational wealth. They don't care about trying to be, expand their resources. You know, they don't care about trying to learn more words so they can connect with more people. They don't care about this. They don't care about growing and they need that. We need to feed. They need that in order for somebody told me that I sounded insensitive because I said I don't do crime. so I own prison stocks. Well, if you live in an environment where you see people cultivating little prisoners, they not cultivating little doctors, little, when you live in a culture where it's let them get to college and then they'll figure it out. When you got the Indian person, okay, saying you're gonna be a doctor, and then when we go to the doctor, all the doctors is Indian, right? They're cultivating, but they're not doing that. They saying, oh, we want you to play football, we want you to go to, that's why, that's one of the things I do agree with what Obama said. We don't need to be focused on the sport so much,
Nope.
Like it's 1 in 400,000 that go through that. Why even put the psychological trauma on your child trying to compete to do that when it's so many other things that we ain't trying to do
That we need.
That they'll have a fulfilled life where they don't have to try to be
Nothing
Michael
else.
fucking Jordan or shit, or LeBron, or who, Bo Jackson, or whoever, man. Like for real, like they don't have to try to be that. Like they can. What about like, and I say this, and people be negative because they only think about him working for Trump. But all this shit Ben Carson was prior to working with Trump. Why we don't want to cultivate that? Is that too hard? Do the parent got to work too hard? Do they got to make sure they get the homework done? Do they got to make sure that they go to the little astronauts camp? Do they got to use their phone and they can't, and they got to miss their love and hip hop because they trying to get their kids into astronaut camp or into young brain surgeons of tomorrow? Or are they fearing that, they're going to be around too many white kids or too many Indian kids or too many Asian kids and they're going to feel dumb? So I don't want to have to deal with that psychological of being strong for them to encourage them that, hey, you're there already. Guess what? You just keep learning. We're going to keep you showing up. I'm going to keep pouring water on you. I'm going to keep pouring water into it, feeding it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, family, but Trump got cool it down. Please, Trump, please, man.
Slow it down. Ooh,
watch out. Before they deport your ass. For real, man.
And I, what I'm really scared of, right? Because they're getting everybody. And since they're getting everybody, it ain't nothing for them to mistakenly identify somebody and send their ass got some goddamn way, then correct the mistake later.
Correct the mistake later. That's usually how it go, right? Correct it later.
You know what I'm saying? Like
when it's too late.
When it's too late.
When it's too late.
Democrats.
So this next clip we're gonna play, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get into this Obama thing real fast. But I just want to let y'all know, like, I looked for clips, and we try to use like free source content. So this is from Fox News, and I'm not biased to any news channel because I don't watch the news like that. But y'all gonna hear comments from the Fox News reporter who brought this story, and we are focusing on what Obama and Michelle Obama was talking about. We are not focusing on the commentary by this person. Okay, so that's just a little heads up, because he was saying a lot of little slick shit. And it was just like, damn, dog, can you just go into it? But I mean, it's his presentation, so we just reacting to it, we just reviewing it.
Toxic and shipping their jobs overseas, and now they're asking, where did all the men go? Obama's trying to save the party he destroyed, so he's on a manhunt. But there's one problem. The brothers don't listen to him anymore, so he's trying to transition boys into girls. Barack's got his own rules for men, but these are the rules that made men leave the party in the first place. Barry says, guys don't always have to be the providers as long as they talk about their feelings.
A lot of male identity and status was tied up with being a provider, having a job, doing a good job, coming home. And when folks started losing jobs because of deindustrialization and offshoring, you had a bunch of men suddenly feeling lost because their identity had been so wrapped up in that one thing, which was being a provider. And so part of what we have to do is, as men, take responsibility for figuring out how to talk about and share feelings.
Okay, God, we got to let him say some shit, and then we got to go in. So,
the fuck is he talking about?
So President Barack says, like, you know, the men shouldn't be worried about being providers no more. Like, that's some old school shit. That shit is a fallacy. You know, that's what I'm gonna go with. That's a fallacy. That's false. I think we should be encouraging young men to want to do that.
Yo, son. Yo, I wrote a book. I say it's irresponsible, right? For every adult has to provide food, clothing, shelter, the protection of that for themselves first, and then their families, right? Like, it's not like all this man, woman crap. Like, what are we talking about? Provider. Like, the problem is being a provider. Like, the problem is somebody that's willing to do for self, take accountability, and take action and be responsible. That person is a problem, right? Like again, provider is food, clothing, shelter, the protection of that. And if you're a man, if you're a woman, right? If you got to look and breathe, you still got to eat. You need a roof over your head. You need clothes on your back, and you either got to get married or go hunt, do something, right? To make sure those things are there for you, or you're gonna die from the elements. You know, like this cat talking about.
You're not gonna die from no elements in America. You're gonna get welfare, okay? Or you're gonna be in a soup kitchen or somewhere. You're gonna be sleep on a bench or somewhere or grate, and you're gonna have soup kitchens or churches where they giving out some, and you're gonna get food stamps and Medicaid, and you know what I'm saying, at least while that's around, but you'll get a free clinic, you know, where they got some type of health care. So, like, no, people not gonna die, people not gonna starve to death either, not in America. And if
they got OnlyFans and shit like that, they got a bunch of ways to make money.
Well, I guess they gotta have something to work with to get on OnlyFans first. But what he's specifically talking about, and I agree with you guys, like, you got to make sure that what you said, you said something or go hunt. You either gonna starve or you're gonna go hunt, right?
Yeah, you gotta figure it out, man. Like, you gotta
eat. So you gotta go hunt, and you gotta provide. But what he's talking about is that granddaddy and them was providers. Okay. Earlier in their whole interview, he said something where he wasn't talking about marriage. He was like, well, I'm not talking about necessarily where you have to be married or some shit. But I'm just like, this is a black man and a black woman up here talking. And he's and in one of his comments, he says, marriage ain't really, we're not talking about necessarily getting married. Okay. When grandmama and granddaddy and them, family stuck together.
It was all about marriage.
It was all about marriage. Their whole reason for doing this podcast was letting everybody know that they ain't breaking up.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that was the whole narrative, like divorce rumors. You know, they saying that they ain't going nowhere. I don't ever think that they will go anywhere, even if any of the rumors that people allege about their relationship are true and they choose to keep that private and keep their public look as them being husband and wife. I'm with it. Okay. Right. But don't sit up here and say, you know, that that the young men shouldn't be trying to be young men, shouldn't be trying to be manly like and want to pay just because tricking and all that shit has become so popular and all of this showboating shit of like, you know, well, I got this money and she do this and I do that and all this and I keep hoes and because the deterioration of the relationships of man and woman relationships, even, you know, or non-binary or whatever it is, like we still need these young men to want to be providers regardless. I don't care who you sleeping with. You still need to be a provider, but don't sit up here and be like, that role that men had has changed and now men is so and so. Like, man, suck that shit up. Yeah, talk about your feelings to your boy, bro. I can't get a job. I'm looking for something. Guess what? That other man who's providing for his family, who you having that conversation with, can say, bro, what kind of skills do you have?
Because that's the question.
What do you need some assistance with, bro? So I can help you get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? And the example that he's seeing that he's getting it from is the man that's providing, not the man that's sitting at home waiting on her to bring it home, unless he done already went and got his.
Is that what he was saying?
Come on, family.
So he was saying that dudes shouldn't be looking to be providers. We should sit on the couch and let the women be providers. And we should be talking about our feelings and sitting there eating bonbons and watching soap operas and stuff and getting our toes and nails painted and stuff and gossiping about, you know, who's sleeping with who on the block and ooh, child. I'm good on that.
What people don't realize,
I'm good on that.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm just like, what is he talking about, man? What people don't realize is like, it's like that. So like there was a meme about, there was a post about stay at home mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she made a very valid point, how she was saying like a thing that has switched and had changed and everything. And there's nothing wrong with that, because and she was correlating it to like when white women got jealous of black women because the black men were allowing their wives to stay at home to be able to be with and raise their children.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So she was correlating her point to something racial and something historic, I guess. I didn't check the actual validity of the racial reference. Okay. But this is always a thing to remind people of. And we've seen this in the military. Whenever you have a person that stays at home and they just making kids,
mm-hmm.
they're out of the workforce. So if they aren't trying to have an entrepreneurial mindset, then they're not going to be trained 15 years, 20 years later down the road to be able to go and contribute to the household.
That's a fact. That's just math.
You know,
that's logic, right?
So they need to have some business about themselves and need to be trying to do something if that's what they're going to do, or specifically, those kids should all be in college and well educated, and I mean scoring high on these tests and everything, because that's what you are devoted to doing, because you're not exhausting any of your other time into anything entrepreneurial, because you need to be at home raising the children. And that's your assignment. That's your role, providing the best learning environment and the tools and resources to the child so the child can be the best version of themselves. Now, in doing that, the sacrifice is when the mother or the spouse, whoever it is fully doing that, then guess what they're doing? They're not working on themselves, because all of that is going pushed into the child. So you do that for 5 years, then you have another baby after 3, then you another one. Let's say if you have children every 3 or 4 years, like once the last one get in school, you're talking about that's 15 years you ain't been in the workforce.
Correct.
You have no skills to go get hired anywhere. So the only other thing to do is have some type of entrepreneurial mindset in tandem with that doing all them mommy things and making sure the babies get what they need, you know, and have the best path. So that way you don't get 40 years old and realize I ain't did shit with my life. And then you feel like I ain't did shit with my life because you ain't try to add on to what the other half of you was doing, was helping to build and keep the roof, was the provider part of it.
Word.
What this dude sitting up here saying, you know what I'm saying, shouldn't be going on.
Nobody should be leeching off of nobody. Right? Like, cause even a stay-at-home mom making the babies, like she's got a whole job. Like building our empire, like however you see it, you know, expanding the team, whatever, however you see it. Like,
Right.
you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody got to do that part, right?
If that's the design.
That's what I'm saying, right?
If
Like,
that's the design, because I've seen it so many different ways, you know. I seen it where you had spouses go to work too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then I also seen it where you had and one person was deployed, but I seen it where you had some spouses that just stayed at home and everything was pushed into the child because that was by design.
Correct.
You know, so it can work both ways.
Nothing is wrong or
Nothing
right.
is wrong. No, you know, nothing is wrong, but they're right situation. But the thing is people not realizing that, you know, what I have seen is less than more of is a person saying they get older and they like, damn, I ain't do nothing for myself. Where they start to resent their part of the bargain.
Which is where the fallacy comes in, and like the whole thing becomes all one big lie because you never wanted to be stay-at-home mom. You never wanted to have all these kids. You always wanted to do X, Y, and Z. We should have had a conversation about that a long time ago.
Exactly. You know, or did it and develop some type of entrepreneurial mindset and built your own business that didn't conflict with your with building the village.
Correct.
You know, but you got to communicate though. You can't. Don't nobody read minds and shit.
You have to communicate, especially if your mind changed.
Let's go ahead and get into this real quick.
We wouldn't have to talk about our feelings if Obama didn't send our jobs to China. Do you know how we feel about that, by the way? Angry. That's why we voted Trump. But Barack doesn't just want you on the couch. He's telling guys to put down the baseball and pick up a playbill.
They have to be able to learn how to be more than just the sport that they care about. And while they get great skills in sports and they learn a whole lot of traits,
teamwork,
I think we owe it to our boys to be very deliberate about saying enough with sports and let's try some other things.
So sometimes it's just a matter of.
All right, so I'm gonna rock with that. I think that's cool. Enough with the sports. Let's try some other things.
Hey, real quick, God, are we only talking about males?
That's all they talking about right here. That's all they talking about right here. You know, enough of the sports. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with enough of the sports. And I'm not going, you know, double down on it because, you know, you know, it's 1 in 400,000. And like, yes, sports are great. All right. But there are other things that we don't do. And when you're talking about professional, right? Yeah. Professional athlete. All right. Because that is what is the end result of a life of sports. All right. The chances of them doing that are fewer of the boys doing that and becoming a professional, a pro athlete, where they're getting paid millions of dollars, the chances are less than them becoming a doctor, them becoming an astronaut, them becoming a firefighter, them becoming a police officer, them becoming a
Any damn thing.
anything, okay, a chemist, you know, a rocket scientist, an astrophysicist, you know, a admiral, you know what I'm saying? Like the chance, like they
Everything
can,
is easy.
everything is easier than that, you know. And it's not to say to take the easy route, because all of that stuff takes work and takes discipline and takes dedication, and you know, but that stuff is where we lacking at. We lack less of that, and we don't have that many professional athletes. They are few and far in between. So I don't see why everybody be trying to be that. Or be trying to hoop dream and be like, yeah, we want, man, whatever. So I'm gonna fast forward to this other one right here, real quick.
I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed, who became one of my favorite professors. You need that to show.
Okay, what they paused, what they cut was what Obama said was, he said that heterosexual men need a gay friend. That's what they cut.
Yo, son.
That's what he said. And you can go catch the interview, and you know what I'm saying, for all the viewers out there, if y'all want to go catch the interview, you know, that's what he said. That's what he cut out. I'm not putting words in his mouth. Go watch it. But he said, he stated that and he didn't say that specifically, but that was what he said in the way he articulated what he was trying to communicate. And he just said, all straight men need a gay friend. And then this is how he finishes.
Empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group, so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Why?
I hate that conversation. For a couple of reasons, right? Like, firstly, you should have whatever friends you want to have, right? Whoever is nice to you, whoever you feel comfortable around, whatever your qualifications are for somebody being your friend. Don't let nothing get in the way of that, right? But this conversation, or this idea that a quote unquote heterosexual man needs a gay man as a friend is ridiculous, right? And it's ridiculous because we're not just talking about a heterosexual man needs a therapist as a friend, or a therapist in their circle, so they can have somebody to talk about their feelings with or something like that. We're saying that a heterosexual man needs a gay man, somebody who they can talk about their sex with, right? And I got a problem with that because that's none of my business, God. You said when you came on the show that you came off a 3-week vacation, right? You're a heterosexual man. I'm a heterosexual man. Nowhere in our conversation, behind the camera, on camera, ever in life will I ever ask you about your sexual positions that you had. Oh, no, like that shit is that's a ridiculous conversation for us to have in the name of manhood, right? I don't understand the value that conversation could come about. So whenever I hear about anybody's sexuality as it pertains to their inability to do a thing, I'm like, you are crazy, because what does them having sex in this position have to do with the thing that we're talking about over here? I don't understand that, God.
Yeah, I agree. Man, Where do I begin? So to piggyback on one particular thing that you just said, no man should feel like I need to have a gay friend for my gay son to talk to. Okay. If that's my son, I'm going to love my son.
I'm gonna love my son,
No matter who he having sex with, because gay is about the sex.
That's it.
Gay is not about the person. If my son is dating a gay man that cheats, well, son, do you like to be cheated on? If my son is dating a gay man, and if my son is gay and dating a gay man that beats on him, well, son, do you like to get beat on? All right. If my son is dating a gay man that's a liar, well, son, do you like to be in a relationship with a person that is lying, that is a liar, that is abusive? Okay. It don't matter whether it's a man or a woman or two men or two women. Be a good human being. That's my child. So I don't need a gay friend to help me with loving my child regardless of what they going through with their penis or vagina. Because guess what?
That's all we talking about.
Because guess what, God? Is the person treating you like you want to be treated? Is the person loving you and respecting you like you want to be loved and respected? Are they communicating like y'all want to communicate? That's where I'm like, what the fuck is Barack and Michelle on? They on some bullshit.
Some bullshit. Cause all that sexuality is we're talking about positions, we're talking about stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing. I don't care what none of y'all say, right? Like nobody will be able to convince me that is a conversation about anything else.
But sex, right?
Right. Because again, like I said, it's not like we said we need a therapist, right? Because it was because
if I got a little girl, do my wife need to have a lesbian friend if my little girl is lesbian? You know what I'm saying? Do my wife need to have? Oh, she fine. Oh, my wife would be fine, right? What you know? What I'm saying, like, come on, family. And that's why I'm just like, come on. What about just having a person that? What about values and virtues of a human? You know, it don't matter how y'all sex is. That's y'all business.
That's y'all business.
What about being treated right? How do you want to be treated? I want you to be loved and feel respected.
Exactly. Valued. Protected. Right? Like all that. Like,
so why ain't saying that? Why it got to be, oh, now we need to have a gay friend in the guy circle.
And we need to have a gay friend just in case we have a gay son.
Just in case.
Our gay son will be able to have somebody that they can turn to.
So then what if because we know it's sexual, what if your gay friend fuck your son?
Oh man.
What if they get a relationship? Then what, Barack?
Nah, man. Because it's only sexual, right? So I don't like that.
Man, they need to stop. They need to cut this shit the fuck out. They need to cut it out, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? They need to cut that shit the fuck out, for real. Because everybody knows that it's about these things that we were just saying, valuing. See, like that shit is a fallacy, what they doing up there. That shit is a fallacy, what they doing, you know, because they just left out all of the tangibles, all of the things that help people stay in healthy relationships for years and years and years. Compassion, value, trust, respect, communication. What else? What else, God? What else? You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is disgusting, bro. Like why would two long time married people? You said earlier, he said something to the effect of not necessarily talking down on marriage, but wanted to make it clear that he wasn't promoting marriage, right?
it was some comment, and you got to go and check it because
And
it's garbage though. It's
yes, it sounds like
it's
it, right?
garbage.
Because to start off the race on that bullshit and then to finish the race on this gay shit, right? It's like, oh, okay, that's why you talking about marriage and everything, because you don't want nobody to be married. You want everybody to be gay. And with gay people, you get that's anti-life, right? Because two things can't create the same, can't create nothing. Like you need two opposite things, right? You need the puzzle pieces got to fit together, right? Like they can't.
It appears that that's the sentiment. I don't know how people interpret it any other way. You know, like somebody has to really be
That was
like,
disgusting, God.
somebody has to really be like just so infatuated and thinking that, oh, this man is just so into, and everything they say is gold. You know what I'm saying? It's more valuable than gold, for real. For that shit to hit your ears and not be like, hold up,
Say
I
what?
want my children,
What?
you know what I'm saying, to be loved, and I don't care who they, you know what I'm saying, like I'm gonna love them regardless, and I don't need nobody else to tell. My son or daughter couldn't come home and be like, Mom, I'm gay, or Dad, I'm gay, and I'll be like, all right, fine, so what? You know what I'm saying? Do they love you? Do they respect you? Are you happy? You know, they don't abuse you, they don't talk to you, you know what I'm saying? They don't cheat on you, they don't lie to you, they don't, all these same things that I would deal with as a heterosexual man. Same things.
No different, God.
Only
Like,
thing is different is the sex. That's it. And I'm talking about the act.
yeah, and
That's it.
you wouldn't ask about those things other than are you being
Nothing.
safe
Nothing. Are you protecting yourself?
to your kids,
To your
right?
child, to
I
your
would
baby.
I would imagine you would ask your child if they was protecting themselves,
That's it.
not what positions they were in.
Fuck no. That's it.
You would ask. See, that's you fucking right, right? Because asking them if they use protection is not the same thing. Yeah, we talking about sex.
Yeah, you
But that's
care about them. You don't want an STD. You don't want your baby to have no STD neither. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know you ain't worried about nobody getting pregnant. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I ain't got to worry about no little babies coming in here. I ain't got to worry about no other responsibilities, you know. But I don't know if I don't know where you at in the, in your stage of life, you know. So I want you to just be protected. I want you to protect yourself.
Just be protected. Just be safe.
Because I love you. Because I really love you. I don't need my gay friend, my new gay friend, to come in and be like, oh, I'll come in and show you what to do. That's some bullshit, man.
What would they be showing you exactly? How to walk through the neighborhood gay?
Oh, don't ask this question. Don't ask that. It's my motherfucking child. I'm gonna pull their ass in and ask them whatever the fuck I want to ask them. And they can take it how they want to take it. I'm already gonna have the mental fortitude to be gentle, because it's not gonna change. I already know they emotionally attached. They probably because they in love, or they think they in love.
What you gonna do, son?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do shit. You just want to make sure that they protecting themselves, that they love, that they feel in love, that they respecting themselves, that they ain't in no abuse or nothing like that. Like, that's your child. You had them. So it's like, come on, family. Like, why is that the narrative instead of like the conversation that we having?
Yeah, nah. I mean, yeah, nah. Like it's nuts.
And he up there with his wife, and she up there campaigning that shit. Yeah. Yeah. Finishing sentences for this dude.
Starting to, not just finishing, starting the sentence. From what I saw just now, it looked like she was starting a sentence, and he was like, "Oh, that's what I'm supposed to say." Yep, she said that, and she finished off. That was disgusting to me all the way around.
That shit crazy. That shit crazy. That shit crazy for real. Like man.
Like we,
I'm starting to lose respect for the Obamas, man.
no,
I really am. Like I'm really starting to lose respect. I love what they represented as far as, being a black family and the head of the presidency of the country and all that stuff. Like, but I'm really starting to be like, man, will y'all just go off somewhere and chill like Hillary and Bill, or fucking Laura and Bush and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, just go chill, man. Just go enjoy y'all money and make money and just live y'all life, man. Like, cut all this bullshit out, man. Well, let's get into this last flavor bomb real quick, y'all, because we got Elon. Elon got some robots coming soon. Elon got the bots, man, for real. They showing y'all all the Epstein stuff, but this is really what's going on in the world of Elon right now.
Elon Musk's humanoid robot just got a lot more human. Tesla's Optimus, first seen folding laundry and playing rock, paper, scissors, has now learned a new party trick: serving popcorn. In a video shared on X, the robot is seen filling a bag of popcorn, excuse me for that, without spilling a single kernel or kernel. Then handing it over with a thumbs up and a wave. Now, according to Grok, the location was the soft opening of the Tesla diner and supercharger station on Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood. Musk, meanwhile, had a simple message that this will become normal in a few years, but Tesla's robotics journey has not been smooth, from its debut in 2021 to a prototype in 2022 and a new timeline for commercial sales in 2026. Optimus is still a work in progress. At Tesla's We Robot event last year, most demos were still remote control, proving full autonomy is not here yet. But popcorn or not, Optimus is getting closer to Musk's vision, where robots could soon mow your lawn, walk your dog, or even babysit your baby.
Tesla Diner in Hollywood, ready to serve you some popcorn or answer any questions.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
They said babysit your kids, God.
They said babysit your kids, walk your dog, cut your grass.
Oh man.
You know.
So here it is. We don't need to be providers no more.
Nope.
We don't need to be married anymore.
Nope.
We don't need to cut our grass anymore, watch our own children, or walk our own dogs.
None of that.
And we don't have to have sex with our women no more.
And you don't have to even talk to your children about their relationships. You just get somebody who's familiar with the same type of sex that they're having, and you friend them, and then you just ask them, hey, can you talk to my child for me about this shit?
Can you and I be friends so that you can talk to my child to let them know that they need to use the right kind of lube? Like, what kind of conversation would you be having exactly? That we wouldn't be having as just regular people, right? Like, again, are you safe? Are you loved? Are you protected?
That's it. That's it. So, yeah.
That was nuts. Yeah, them robots is crazy. I'm scared of the robots, bro. Like, I think people are nuts. Get way too close to human.
They say it's coming. They even threw a peace sign, even though the guy You know, that wasn't American news. Like we're not getting that. American news is just pushing the Epstein and the Trump beef.
Correct.
You know, so I try to dig a little deep when we do get some of these things because some of that stuff gets shown. Like there's some other stuff he got going on too, but you know, that right there, coming soon. You know, definitely. Those that's a real big fucking eye opener, man. Because a lot of people with these job losses and these layoffs and things are, you know, they wondering what is going to be coming, what is the replacement, and these are the things that are in production now. You know, and they said they're trying to get the full autonomy, so they just trying to get the right software, get the right programming, and once they get the right programming,
it's a wrap.
Yeah.
No more farmers needed, no more factory employees needed, no more nothing, because you got the robots.
You've just been flavor bombed, and now back to our show. So we have been smoking on the word fallacy tonight, y'all, and we are going to go ahead and jump into our third question real quick. What happens when fallacy becomes ad hominem, and why is this considered problematic?
Man, if you don't know what the hell is the truth, you're just gonna just keep on going down the wrong damn direction, right? And you gotta know what's real, right? And you can't keep moving the goalpost to make yourself right. Is either correct or it's not correct, and whatever the right thing is needs to be allowed to be the truth. All right.
I think so. I agree with the God Ali Dawood El, that BK Soul Farm. What we're gonna do real quick though is we're gonna add ad hominem to the stage.
Ad hominem.
So the people at home can know what it is, because some people are like, what the hell does that mean? I know, but this is a show about words, y'all. We learn on here. And ad hominem means appealing to feelings or prejudices rather than intellect, marked by or being an attack on an opponent's character rather than by an answer to the contents made in an ad hominem manner. So this is where I spoke of a person earlier in our conversation, and this is where I think they are. I think they are ad hominem fallacy, marked by or saying that they are attacked to the character rather than by an answer to the contents made, and trying to get people to appeal to feelings or prejudice rather than intellect. And this is where I think that they at. And I think that what that does is that allows the person to say, it's my feelings that are more important rather than the intellect. And that's where I said that, I have come to the conclusion that for me to, I thought the person was intellectually on a higher level than to think that their feelings would be an excuse versus their intellect, because the only thing that was challenged was their intellect, not their feelings. But they took it on the feeling side.
Yeah.
So that's why I apologized, because I didn't realize that I hurt their feelings. And that's why I said it was sincere. It was not, I don't never apologize. My apologies always be sincere, because I don't do the same shit twice. So that's where I said, okay, now I understand what's going on, because that person was in their feelings, and when they communicated to me that their feelings were hurt, I didn't clown it. You know, I didn't say, oh, get out your punk ass feelings, which I would do, which I would have done had I not, you know what I'm saying, had I not realized that they were serious, you know? So this right here is the part where I realized that that fallacy can become ad hominem, because fakeness, somebody does a fake thing and then they get questioned on it, and now instead of taking accountability for their fakeness, then they say that their feelings have been they've been offended, their feelings have been offended, and it allows them to be able to avoid the fake thing that they did and just place the blame on their feelings. And then that becomes problematic because personally and culturally, socially right now, we're saying, you know, a person's feelings are more important than the facts. And in the place of that, more people begin to agree with the person that, oh yeah, well, okay, yeah, your feelings. And then once that starts to happen, where everybody starts getting buy-in to the person's feelings, none of them people even ask about, well, what are the facts? So then it can't be solved, because you can't resolve anything based on feelings. You have to add the logic into it. You have to add some reasoning into it. You have to add the facts into it so we can solve the problem. So these things become problematic. And, you know, that doesn't mean they persist, you know, because people can separate themselves from things. But, you know, it's still a problem if you scar for life.
Yeah.
You know, like shit, if you scar for life, then, you know,
excuse me,
you know, then I could see how a person could say, they don't have no peace. But the problem is like, I'm not in control of your peace at all. So that's what it appears to me, that it becomes problematic when we take facts, we take non-facts, we take fallacy, and then remove any logic, any possibility of logic, or any possibility of truth, and just say, okay, well, the fact is my feelings hurt. And I've always said that I've never really experienced that except for with women. So to me, that is a very feminine characteristic trait. Not nothing wrong with it, but it's feminine. Because in being an intellect, but somebody say they intellectual, for somebody say they solution based, then feelings do get considered, but they're not what's used to actually solve the problem. It's not what's used to get to the equality, or to the goal, or to the solution. So that's what happens. That's what I think happens when fallacy becomes ad hominem, and why it's considered problematic. But it definitely can be reversed if everybody just don't lie. Tell the truth.
Mean what you say what you mean.
Yeah.
Have integrity, right?
Have some integrity. That's all. I mean, like I said, thieves, even criminals know when they commit crime. You know, and if you got a partner in crime, you know, I mean, oh, that ain't your partner unless you telling. So, you know, I understand how things go. People be partners in crime, and then somebody tell. You know, but if you ain't been told on, then that's still your partner. They know you committed crimes. You know, and in that sense, if you got a business partner and y'all working together, then they know how the checkbook spend. They know how things work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but if it's trusted, then it's trusted. When it's no longer trusted, then it ain't no trust there. So I would ask what trust has been broken, what trust has been lost. Now I could say, I know what trust has been lost from my perspective. You know, but I always ask what actions, what were the actions that caused that? And then if we gonna live on fallacy, then we're gonna live on falseness, falsities. If we're gonna live on truth, then we're gonna live on truth. So everybody got a choice. Tonight, y'all, we've been smoking on the word fallacy, and we had 3 questions this evening. What do you think of when you hear the word fallacy? Let us know in the comment section. Our second question was, what tools do we have as people to recognize or avoid fallacy? Let us know in the comment section. We exchanged some good insights on both of them questions. And our third question we just got finished answering was, what happens when a fallacy becomes ad hominem and why this is considered problematic? And we shared some insights and maybe even a little personal stories about why we think that is. So let us know what you think in the comment section. We always respond to the comments in the comment section. Also, like and share the video, subscribe to the channel. It is a free way that you can support.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate y'all for that. And our last, but never the least question, Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Farm, is the word fallacy bad, good, or misunderstood, God?
It's a bad word. And I don't think it's misunderstood. I think people don't understand when they're committing it or or living in a fallacy. You know, because like you said, them feelings, man, they get into those feelings and they start justifying. So I'm gonna say it's definitely a bad word. We don't. It's not. Yeah. I'm thinking about that Obama crap in my head right now. It's just fucking with me.
It's you got all week.
It's fucking with me.
Let it marinate. You got all week. I apologize, God. It was the flavor bomb. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was the flavor bomb. So it was
Oh
what flavor
God.
it was what flavor to savor. You know, so
Yeah,
for real, like
but I don't like the word. It's a
crazy.
bad word, man. It's it it, it if if we practice more integrity, we wouldn't need fallacies at all, right? We wouldn't. There would be no delusions. There would be no illusions. There would be no deceit. Like it would be all just trying to be the best version of ourselves. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that alone, right? I don't have to be the best pearl that I can be. I can't be, right? I can only be me, right? And that's my focus. And that's it, bro.
Yeah. Well, I agree. The fallacy is definitely a bad word. and it's definitely misunderstood. I think because nobody uses it, nobody researches it, nobody even. I think we probably the only people on the planet right now even talking about the word, you know, and whoever's viewing the podcast this evening, you know, but it definitely is, you know, I recommend people go and check out the definition. Check out the definition of ad hominem too. So when you go back and see the questions, you'll be able to see how it ties together. But yeah, but fallacy is just full of false, you know, deception, trickery.
Yeah.
You know, it's just horrible, man. So like, think about if you are a person who exemplifies that, if you like to be deceptive, if you like to be on tricks and foolishness, you know, that's what it used to be called back in the day, you know, foolishness, dumb shit. You know, fuck shit is what it's called nowadays. You know, if you on that, then yeah, that's a fallacy. You know, that's bad. That's bad. It's counterproductive for anybody, for the people around you, for the people that care about you. It doesn't help. It doesn't help you in any type of way build peacefully, prosperous, positive, sustaining, none of that stuff. You
Nothing
know,
good. Nothing.
all it does is just keep the bullshit going. So, like we always say, you know, we are not the gurus. If you find something that you like, you know, pick it up, have a smoke. If not, leave it in the ashtray for somebody else. When they come through, we are learning these words too. We fuck up in life. We learn and we never stop learning. You know, like if we could do this till I'm 100 years old, we'd be here talking about that. It's that many words. Okay. It's that many words, you know, and being able to examine these words and analyze them and define them and learn about them, it helps, because after we do these shows and days go by, you actually begin to start thinking about, damn, am I doing this? Is this something can I apply to my life? Is this something that I don't want to apply? Especially this shit, this fallacy. We want to get rid of anything, all fallacies.
Yeah.
Okay. The people that's acting fallacious. Okay. But it, you know, but like I say, we're not the gurus. We are just learning this stuff ourselves, and we just trying to share it with y'all. And we hope y'all enjoyed the show this evening. Another great conversation with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the guy Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. What we want to do is, what we going to do is, and what y'all going to do is, and what we want y'all to do is make sure that y'all have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. Okay? And we'll see y'all next time right here, each and every Sunday, 8 p.m. East Coast time, Cigar Sundays Live. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on a list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.